To all who listen to this happy pod, welcome. My name is Noah Parker, and this is my world of wonder, joined today by my sister, Marci.
Hello. We are doing a DCOM episode because I'm here.
DCOM day. I forgot to put the slate on the table, but that's okay.
That's okay. We missed it before.
Yeah, it's the last episode before season break. So you know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm ready to take a break.
We're just ready to get through it.
Indeed.
Yes.
So, as Marci said, we are doing a DCOM rewatch. Today we are rewatching Alley Cat's Strike. Mm-hmm. And I always forget that other S. I never pronounce that S. It's Alley Cat's Strike. Mm-hmm. But I always say it like Alley Cat Strike.
Yeah.
And you just run those
together.
you run the S
Cat
on
strike.
cats and the S in strike together.
Yeah.
So this film was released in 2000, and it was written by Gregory K. Pincus. Yes. Before we started, I went and had some pronunciations done for me so I could make sure I got those right. But I stumbled there because my brain didn't want to read that way. Excellent. Let's jump into the cast, shall we? I'll let you lead off.
All right. So starting off, we have Kyle Schmidt, who played Alex Thompson.
Ooh, I didn't do that one. But it's Robert
I think it's Richard. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Played Todd McLemore.
Then we have Joey Wilcox, who played Ken or Kenny Long.
Yes. Kenny Long.
Kenny Loggins?
Yes. And then we have well-known and esteemed oh my gosh, how do you say your name? Kaylee Kuoku, who played Elisa Barrows. I did not. Bowers. Oh my gosh, dude. I did not read these names ahead of time. I read like the director and the cinematographer, but
they don't really say they really only say Alex and Todd's last names.
True.
In the movie.
They say Todd's last name a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
It's probably the most spoken word in this.
Yeah.
Aside from Apple, probably the most spoken word in this film.
After Kaylee, we have Mimi Paley, who played Delia Gracie.
Then Tim Reed played Mayor McLemore.
And then we have Matt McCoy, who played Mr. Kevin Thompson.
The film was directed by Rod Daniel.
Music by Bill Elliott.
Cinematography by Peter Benson.
Edited by Robert Sodders.
Yes. That is, yes.
That's it. I thought there was more, but there's not. Okay.
Yes. And then, so we have a different tactic that we're trying on this one to try to prevent this particular episode from being 2.5 hours long. If it works, then we will continue to do it this way after the season break when we come back to watch whatever is after that. We talked about it a second ago. Yep. I didn't look.
That's okay. We'll look at it. You'll know in October. It's fine.
Yes, but by the time this rolls around in October, you'll know.
Yeah.
So one of the things before we jump into our summary, which is how we're going to handle this particular episode, is I just wanted to talk about the fond memories. And I shared in last week's episode, well, not shared, I said it, I guess. When me and Adriana were talking about this being the next episode, I mentioned that like this is probably unanimously our favorite.
Yes.
Like me and you both agree this one is the top.
This is the top. This is my favorite movie. Yeah. I watched it all the time.
We watched it a lot.
Anytime it was on Disney Channel, I watched it. Didn't matter how far into the movie it was. I watched it.
Yeah.
When we had DirecTV and we could DVR things.
Oh yeah.
I would record it, watch it. Mom would be like, "Can we delete it?" No, that's my movie.
Yeah,
we're keeping
exactly. That stays.
And now it's on Disney Plus, so I
can watch it whenever you want,
anytime.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. So that was some fond memories. I remember watching this together, and I remember everyone else not being as interested in it as you and I were.
No, it was our movie. For sure.
It was, and so it holds a special place in my heart. But without any further ado, let's jump into a summary of Alley Cat's Strike.
Yes.
The movie opens with a very groovy montage introducing the lead character and his friends, including Kaylee Kuoku, dang it, who would, of course, go on to play Penny in The Big Bang Theory. We
then learn West Appleton Middle Jr. is in danger of losing the...
sorry, I did not edit myself. That's supposed to say Appleton Jr. Hi.
Okay, I'm going to restart my sentence.
That's fine. My B.
Wow. We then learn West Appleton Junior High is in danger of losing the highly sought after Mighty Apple Trophy that they compete against East Appleton for. Wow. They compete against East Appleton every year, but this time it's permanent.
And that is a little side note in here that is because, well, never mind. We can throw it in later. It comes up later.
Okay.
Then after some brainy trash talk with the golden boy, Todd McLemore, and his teammates against I guess it's specifically, what's her name? Dang it. Delia is like a brainiac.
Yes.
So she does some brainy trash talk with the golden boy, Todd McLemore, and his teammates. We see the West Appleton Wildcats win the basketball game against the East Appleton, whatever theirs was, the Wild Wolves or something like that.
Something like that.
Tying the battle for the mighty Apple, but there aren't any more sports left to compete in, and decide the final victors of the trophy.
While the rest of the town is watching the West versus East basketball game, the Alley Cats are in their native environment, the bowling alley, where we discover Alex's dad, the owner of the bowling alley, isn't able to keep up on the repairs because the bowling alley just isn't drawing in customers and the alley may end up having to close.
As the tournament is tied for the trophy and there are no more scheduled sporting events for the year, the two schools must choose a sport both have a team for, and as if written by a team of Hollywood writers, that sport happens to be bowling.
That's good.
I threw a couple of those in there.
When the school and the mayor, Todd's dad, discover they must field a bowling team comprised only of students who signed up for the bowling club before the start of the year, it turns out Golden Boy Todd McLemore was signed up by his friends as a prank.
The Alley Cats must begrudgingly include Todd in their tight-knit group of friends and teach him how to bowl, as Todd's father, the mayor, believes their only chance of winning is to have his son captain the team.
After disappointing practice, Todd and Alex begin to foster a friendship which promises to improve Todd's bowling and Alex's popularity. They go to spy on the East Appleton bowling team and discover they have hired a professional bowler to coach them.
The newfound doubt in their ability to defeat the East leads the Alley Cats and Todd to have a dramatic montage to a song with the same name as the film, in which Todd's bowling skills improve drastically, restoring the confidence the entire team.
Inspired by the dancing practice, Todd comes up with the idea to turn the bowling alley into a hotspot for the teens of the town by sprucing up the alley and planning a bowling ball to help keep his dad from having to sell the bowling alley.
The newfound friend in Todd and the increase in popularity starts to go to Alex's head, and he begins to forget about his old friends, and the pressure starts to get to him, and his bowling skills begin to dwindle.
The big night comes for the bowling ball, and it appears to have worked as expected. The place is just as popular as it was in the heyday of the alley, but Alex ditches his friends for the new glamorous popularity.
Following what Alex thought was the best night of his life, he overhears some of his quote-unquote new friends and discover they are only pretending to be his friends because of his perceived importance in the tournament against East Appleton.
Fed up with the pressure, the mayor betting on the kids, and the name of the school now riding on the Alley Cats and Todd, Alex decides to walk away and drop his friends, new and old.
While trying to decide how best to reignite Alex's fire, Elisa and Kenny learn about Todd's apparent humanity, and later Alex uncovers the true pressure Todd is under from his father and the heavy weight of expectation brought on by the entire town.
As the alley and the fans gear up for the start of the big bowl-off, the Alley Cats wonder if Alex will show up. Just as the Alley Cats are about to give up hope that Alex will show up, a perfectly timed question allows him the opportunity to make an entrance with a witty remark.
We jump into a quick montage of the first 9 frames of the game and drop us into a tense situation requiring Alex to score 3 strikes in a row and Todd needing to score a spare. When Todd leaves a 7-10 split, Delia, the Brainiac, guarantees she can pick it up, sending a slow and suspenseful spinning ball into the pins, miraculously picking up the spare, resulting in an epic West Appleton win.
The story wraps up with the team deciding the best name for the new school is Appleton Central, as either school should totally lose...
Neither. Sorry.
As neither school should totally lose their identity in favor of the other, and a groovy swing bowling session takes over, leading into the end credits, accompanied by even more groovy swinging music.
How did you think that went?
I think it was pretty good.
Aside from me not... Okay, I finished it 5 minutes before you got here.
No worries. Aside from
not proofreading and double checking everything.
No, it's okay. I think it's pretty good.
It's been 15 minutes, so...
Oh. This is going
to
be a very short episode.
Probably not since we started, but it's been about 10 minutes since we started. So it speeds us up a lot. Almost too much. But we can make up for that by taking a quick break. Yes. And then jumping into some of the categories we have coming up. Yes. Hey guys, while we are getting the cameras reset, I thought now would be a great time to stop and invite you to follow us on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. We have a whole bunch of shorts and stuff going out there, reels, whatever you want to call them. And Adriana works really hard on those. We would appreciate it if you guys would give us a follow over there. If you're listening to the audio-only version of this podcast, we have a video version available on YouTube. You can go to youtube.com/Noah Parker _channel, or you can type Noah Parker _channel in the search bar. If you're already here on YouTube, well then head over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Search for Noah Parker's World of Wonder, and that will get you to the audio-only version. Without any further ado, let's get back to the episode. Okay, so that went by very fast. So we can really take some time here, and we can talk about. I have two key things that I want to go into after we do our summaries from now on. If we stick to this same format, we might adjust slightly in the future, but basically. The first thing I want to do is talk about notable moments. So moments where you think the actors really shined, you think the writing really shined, or the story really took the turn, or whatever. And then our favorite scenes, which don't have to have anything to do with those. They don't have to be really important to the plot at all. Sure. Or like my favorite scene. I'll get to it. But
I'm pretty sure we have the same favorite scene.
I have several favorite scenes, but
I'm pretty sure one of them is the exact same.
Probably.
Yeah.
So we'll say notable moments first.
Okay.
Now, the error here is that I did not tell you this is what we were doing. Yes. So you didn't really have time to pick a notable scene.
I've got this movie in the back of my head. So clear. I barely had to rewatch it to do this episode. That's how much I've watched it and love this movie.
I wish that I had watched it more. But it is also probably the most recent DCOM that I watched before we started the rewatch series.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, notable moment. There's several, I think. First of all, we get the heart-to-hearts that you get in every movie, with the dad. One of the things, this is the one thing with this movie that I always forget because of the way that the movie's played and presented and everything. Okay. I always think that the mom has died.
I did too at first.
Until the line where it's like, maybe your mom and grandpa make it back from the hospital in time for the match. And I'm like, oh, right. She's not dead. She's just not here.
She's with grandpa at the hospital.
And I'm like, why?
We assume it's grandpa in the hospital.
Well, that's what he says. He says your grandpa will get out of the hospital.
Okay.
I think. I can't remember verbatim the line, but I understood
it
that it
implies
is
that
him.
grandpa is in the hospital. Yeah. It makes sense because it's her dad.
Yeah. So basically all of the moments where Alex and Kevin are talking about the alley and how they might have to sell it. They might not have it anymore.
Yeah. Kevin tells him he just got his realtor's license.
Yeah.
So he's going into realty. Realty?
Realty.
He's going to be a realtor. Real estate, that's what I was looking for. And he's like, just in case we have to sell the building, now I have my license and we can.
What's funny to me is that the implication is that if they have to sell the bowling alley, he is then going to be a realtor.
Yeah.
But like the way that it sounds like with the way that all the lines come out, it sounds like he's like, I got my real estate license so that I can sell the bowling alley.
Yeah.
Once I sell it, then it's just I don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's super random, but okay. But it's also like maybe that is the plan. I don't know.
I don't know. They don't specify it too well.
Yeah, not really. Another notable scene is probably it's not right at the beginning. I think it's right after the basketball game. And right after the basketball game when Mayor McLemore, thank you. Mayor McLemore and his wife are like hyping up Todd.
Yeah.
Right? And he's basically just like whatever, like I just want to go home. And it's like you can see in his face in that moment that he's just like, can you guys please just lift this pressure off me? Like he's very clearly under so much pressure. And he's like, I don't want this to be my responsibility anymore. Because
he was, I think they mention it in the movie, but he's the team captain of all these sports. Yeah. Because I think it's because he's the mayor's son.
Yes.
But like they play it off like, no, he's so good at everything. But it's...
Which, and I mean, yes,
like he is
good at everything, but it's like he says later, it's because he has to be.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a choice. His dad expects it, so he has to be. And so like that first moment where you can see like, you're like, this is going to be important later.
Yeah. Yeah.
That little subtle, like that's one of the areas where I think that Robert Richard, it sounds weird to say, but I don't know.
It's because the apostrophe, Richard.
But yeah. That's probably the first moment where I was like, okay, this kid can act.
Yeah.
That was just face.
Yeah. He's in other movies too, other DCOMs, I believe.
Well,
but
I am
which
pretty
ones.
sure, if I'm not mistaken, which I totally could be, that he is in Grey's Anatomy as well.
I don't watch Grey's Anatomy.
I didn't. Raylan did, and I saw some episodes, and that's the only reason I know anything.
Yeah.
But he was in that as well, I believe. Grey's Anatomy. Sorry. I've meant to look this up before and I forgot to. That's why this is a problem. Nope, it's not. Just kidding. It looks very similar.
Okay.
The guy that I was thinking of is Jesse. Where'd it go? Jesse Williams.
Oh. Okay.
I thought that was the same guy, but it's definitely not.
They do look similar.
Like young Robert Richard looks like old Jesse Williams.
Yeah. Like they could be brothers.
Yeah, so I just assumed that I didn't assume, but I was thinking it was the same person.
The same person, yeah.
Oh, that's well. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's done better in other things.
Yeah.
One of the things I think is really funny is that Kaylee Cuoco went from being into the DCOM to being like that. I just love that.
She went from being in a DCOM to being in sitcoms.
Yeah. And like being a really, really successful sitcom actress.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she probably learned a lot.
Yeah, and like I think she was really good.
Disney lot, but
I feel like she was really good.
I can't speak for her
in this movie too.
She was. She was definitely a gifted actress from the get go.
Yeah. I think it was a perfectly casted movie.
Yeah, I agree. Movie. I think everyone. There's one moment, and I don't even know if it was really anyone's fault, realistically, if it was just the writing. But there was a couple moments where I'm like, that felt really awkward. And
I mean, it's also a 2000s movie, so there are some awkward moments.
Well, just like the line delivery felt awkward, but I think there was a specific line where Alex said something. It's like towards the beginning. Alex says, I can't even remember. I should have gone back and looked at this. But Alex says something, and then they change subjects, and then almost verbatim, Kenny says the same thing, but like about someone else. I wish I had an example. I wish I could tell you what I'm talking about because
I'll just have to rewatch the movie.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it again. But yeah, so those are some of my favorite notable or some of the notable moments I think where the acting really popped out. And some of the most the stealth story driven moments, like Todd's facial expression showing that he is like drowning under all of this weight.
He's like, I am I was just part of an Encanto camp at the theater, and so I was just gonna say he's very much like Luisa from that.
Whoa.
Yes.
I don't know the words, but I just.
That was pretty close. Yeah.
Anyway.
Todd is the Luisa of Alley Cat Strike.
Yes. Indeed.
Yes. I would say some notable moments for me are definitely the heart-to-hearts, not just between Alex and his dad, but that one specific one between Alex and Todd.
Yes.
That one is where it, like, all flips.
Basically where, like, Todd is like, dude, like...
He's like, this is all the pressure I've always been under, and I just want to bowl for fun.
Right.
You taught me that it's not about...
You can actually have fun. Competition.
You taught me it's not about competition.
Yeah.
And we can have fun while competing. And like they have this one line at the beginning. He's like, you know the difference between you and me? Todd says that, and then Alex goes, hair color. And I was like, yes, Disney.
Right. That was awesome.
They were like, yeah, our hair color is different. Because like, and like that's how little kids think now.
Right.
You know, they don't see skin color, and I was like, I love that.
Yeah.
And like I feel like I grew up
Solid
like that
choice.
too. You know.
Same. Yeah.
Obviously, we grew up together, so it's how I feel like that's how we grew up.
Could you imagine if we would grow up two different ways?
that would be wild. We're not that far apart.
Right.
Age. And then there's also like a slight, I don't know if it's a heart to heart, but it's like a little connecting moment between Alicia and Alex.
Yeah.
When she's like gonna post her
her scorecard after she got her 220. Yeah.
And he's like, 220, that's awesome. She's like, yeah, it's whatever.
It's just
like,
twiddle my ear.
Yeah.
For you people not watching on YouTube, I'm curling my little mullet.
His little mullet.
That'll be gone by the time we get back, by the way. No more mullet.
And like,
anyway.
Also this is like way back at the beginning, the Brainiac trash talk, like just seeing Delia's character right away. Yeah. Instantly. You're like, oh, she's the smart one.
She's the smallest one, but she's also the smartest, and she's the most sassy.
I wanted to be Delia.
She don't give a F.
I wanted to be Delia growing up.
Yeah.
Like, I loved Alicia, but I wanted to be Delia growing up. I dressed like her for a while.
I didn't.
I tried to dress like her. That's how much
I
wanted to be her.
Fair enough. That's awesome.
And then I'm pretty sure this is going to be our favorite moment, so I'm not going to put it in the notable moments.
Okay, I'm sure you're right.
It's everybody's favorite. If you've seen the movie, it's your favorite.
Yeah.
It's your favorite.
One of the coolest parts is when, and I feel like it's played out in the movie where it wasn't intentional, but it's when, well, I guess it was intentional, but it was like more impactful than it was meant to be.
Okay.
Where Todd is like recommending, like, he's like, we should turn this place into like the place to be. Like, let's juke this place up. And I feel like his thing is just like, I have to be here because I have to do this bowling thing. Might as well try to get some of my friends here too.
Might as well get my popular friends in here.
But it's like, it also saved the Thompsons from having to sell the freaking place.
Where he's like, I mean, I see these people need help. I have to be here all the time. Might as well help them.
And the way that it was played out, I didn't feel like the fact that they were about to lose the bowling alley was even a thought to him.
Right.
Like, he's just like, let's just make it pop a little bit. It'll be fun. And then
that's
it's
fair.
Like,
yeah.
It turned, I mean, maybe it was intentional, but like the way it played out didn't feel like that was his motive. But it's just kind of, he was like, oh yeah, hey, that worked out.
That worked out. Yeah. And I love, and like Delia's the one who comes up with the name.
Yes.
Because they're like, I can't remember.
Was probably one of the awkward lines for me.
Maybe. I can't remember what they were trying to call it, but she's just like sitting there and she goes, the bowling ball. Yeah. And they were like, genius.
Yeah. That particular line delivery was probably the only time in the movie where I'm like, that was a little bit like, too acted out. She cleared her throat. And then they like stared at her for like probably too long. Yeah. It could have been like a 3-second thing, and they did like 5 to 10. And then she was like, the bowling ball without the throat clearing would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like she's like, the bowling ball.
Yeah.
That would have been well delivered, but she goes, The bowling.
Like,
I didn't.
I
like
know
that.
I'm smart.
Right.
You know I'm smart.
Right. That was a little bit too
Let's
much
do
for
this.
me.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It got there.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
Yeah. I think this will be my last notable moment.
Okay, perfect.
Is right before the bowling tournament, before the heart to heart with Alex and Todd, when they're all practicing and Todd keeps getting strike after strike.
Yeah.
And Alex all of a sudden can't even pick up a spare.
Right. Because now he's in his head because he's popular now and people are actually paying attention to him.
He just heard the other kids be like,
That's
yeah,
true.
once this tournament thing is over, we don't have to talk to him anymore. So he got into his head and he was like, oh, they're just pretending to be my friend.
Yeah, so then he was just frustrated.
Yeah, he was frustrated and he's like, this isn't even fun anymore.
Yeah.
I only bowled to have fun and now it's a competition, and like him and Todd switched roles.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? I quit. I can't handle this pressure.
Right. And
I quit.
And I think that was a turning point for Todd a little bit too, where he goes, oh, you can just tell people you can't handle the pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. Where he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is a real thing that you can do.
I guess I can just speak up for myself, even though he still doesn't for,
right.
What is that, 10 days?
Like, yeah, it's like,
I don't think it's that long. It's like 5 days.
It's like a
at that
few
point.
days. Yeah.
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 Technically. At least three.
At least three. Yeah.
Because you got to get those shirts printed up. And those
shirts,
3 to 5. Yeah. He's got to get those button-down shirts printed up and that,
Yeah. That takes some time.
A minute.
Especially in 2000.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And I like how they name each other Dirk.
Yeah. Dirk.
You look like a Dirk. And then he names him Tex.
Yeah.
You look like a Tex.
Yeah. That's good. I like that. So, yeah. Okay. Favorite scenes.
Do you want to go first?
I'm going to start with one that's not the one
that's not the one that I think we're thinking of.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure we're thinking of the same.
I think so, because it's the best scene in the whole movie.
Yeah.
I think. Imagine if we're just not on the same page here.
No,
I'm like, oh.
This is awkward.
One of my favorite scenes, and I don't know why, other than I just like, oh, there I am. I am in this movie. It's when they're at the party. Yeah. And Bubba comes up. Yes. He goes, bowling guy.
Yes. Bowling dude.
Bowling dude. Yeah. Bowling dude.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. I just felt like that was me.
I mean, you're the life of the party, right?
No, just the chubby guy. I'm Bubba, the guy you want to have on your side.
Chubby guy who's the life of the party.
Sure.
Sure. I feel like he really was. Like, Todd was popular, but everybody knew Bubba.
Yeah,
everybody was friends with him.
I wanted to be Bubba. Oops, I did it. Oh, good God. Lord. Okay. Do you have a second favorite scene?
Yes.
Okay, hit that one.
That is not the one we're both thinking of.
Okay.
That should not be the same.
It's gonna be so funny.
Oh gosh, I forgot it. Hold on. When they're like when they're spying on East Appleton.
Yes.
And he's like, they're too good, we're not gonna win, and Todd leaves, and then Alex stays for like a couple seconds. And they catch him.
Yeah.
And then Todd runs back in. And he's like, what are you doing? I told you this is it. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, this was your idea. What is happening?
Right.
And then they make it out. And he's like, ha, ha, ha.
You thought I was really mad at you?
You're so funny. And he's like, Alex is just like, what the heck just happened? And he's like, no, I knew you were playing the whole time.
It's so funny.
So funny.
That was a good moment. Yeah. That was a good moment. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Are we ready for the big reveal?
Let's do it.
My favorite scene, absolute favorite scene in the movie.
Favorite scene.
Please be the same thing. Is when Todd leaves the 7-10 split.
Yes.
And Delia has to go pick it up because she knows she can.
She goes, I can make this.
Yeah. She's like, yes. Well, it's funny because that's a callback to earlier when she's doing that smack talk, the Brainiac smack talk. She's like, I'll play a game with horse with you. And she goes through all of the science, mathematics, how she's going to beat him.
Yeah. She's like, and you would lose to a little girl.
And then they're like, whatever. And they leave. And then, Elisa asks, like, have you ever thrown a basketball before? She's like, wouldn't you like to know?
That was like her catchphrase. Yeah, and I loved it.
It was a great
so
catchphrase.
Much.
I think I still use that.
Yeah.
Except now I think I use the Vine version more. Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
Yes. That's a good one.
Yes. But no, that scene when she's like, I got this. And then she spins the ball on her finger.
She literally goes.
She's checking for the wind direction in an enclosed building.
The air conditioning.
I guess the air conditioning, maybe some flatulence. You never know.
You never know.
She figures out where she needs to put the ball. She spins the crap out of it and then gently pushes it. And it rolls so slowly down the alley.
Slowly.
I love that scene so much.
The announcer, Big Lou. Is that his name?
Sweet Lou.
Sweet Lou. My bad. Sorry.
You're good. Close enough.
Sweet Lou. He's like, it's moving. The ball is actually moving. You folks gotta get over here and see it for yourselves. He's like, you'll probably make it before it hits the pins.
Yeah, that's a classic.
It's just like,
and then it goes, and they're like, Todd's like, have you done this before? And she's like, wouldn't you like to know? And then sure enough,
and everybody's like, yes, that's what we're asking.
We definitely would like to know. Thank you, Sarah. Ma'am. Sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot who we were talking about.
Yeah. And then, like you mentioned,
she picks it up.
Successful spinning ball into the pins.
Yes. And it's funny because I remember trying to recreate that.
Oh, every time we went bowling,
we were trying to do that.
And
I don't think you can actually pick up a 7-10 split that way.
I don't think you can hit any. Like, every time we did it, it got stuck halfway down the alley, and we had to call the front desk to.
Yeah.
Or
like it's because the sensors would see the ball.
Yeah.
And the sensors see the ball and lower the arm when it's supposed to be there. If you're throwing like a average speed.
Yeah.
And like when it's going that slowly, it's nowhere near average speed.
Yeah.
So then one of the things that I think is funny is that all of the strikes and spares in the movie, there's probably 7 different shots of strikes and probably 4 different shots of spares. Mm-hmm. The 7-10 splits that they're trying to pick up earlier in the movie but keep failing. First of all, way closer than they should have been.
Yeah.
Like they're not getting them, but they're like annoyingly close to doing it. That I'm like, you can't do that consistently.
Not consistently.
I'm not a professional bowler, but I know professional bowlers and I watch Packy on YouTube. It is very difficult to get that kind of consistent. That ball is going it's hitting the pin the exact same way and shooting it across the back in the same way. Yeah. The only thing it's missing is it needs to bounce off the curtain in the back and come back to grab the other pin.
Yeah.
So first of all, I don't care how good you are as a middle schooler, you're probably not picking up a 7-10 split, especially if you haven't been bowling that long, Todd.
Right. Todd. Yeah.
The other thing, every single one of the 7-10 splits that Todd misses is the exact same 7-10 split miss. They just keep flipping the frame so that he hits the opposite pin or goes in the middle.
Yeah.
There's only 2 shots of 7-10 splits, except actually no, that statement is true. There are only 2 shots of 7-10 splits being hit by any balls at all in the movie, because the one that Delia picks up is the most blaringly obvious CGI pins I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I don't think they use CGI in any of the movie except for that moment.
Yeah.
And it's because you couldn't shoot that. If you filmed someone picking up a 7-10 split, it would not look like the way that Delia pushed the ball down. It would be a normal bowling shot. Yeah. And it was like, I'm literally watching this movie and I'm like, that's some random CGI
that's not real.
Injected in there. But so I'm glad that was your favorite. That was the one. Okay.
Yes, that was the one.
So glad. I was going to be so embarrassing to be like, actually I was thinking about the scene at the beginning. But
No, we were on the same page. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's slide along then. How does it hold up?
Oh, perfect.
Amazingly,
it holds up perfectly. Right? Yeah.
It's just old now as it was in 2000 when we were 3 and 4, 5 respectively. Yeah.
How old are we?
We're getting there. You're going to be 30 next year.
I know.
And I'm going to be 30 in 3 years. 2 years.
3.
27, 28, 29. Yeah.
Yes. 7 plus 3 is 10.
Yeah. Crazy, dude. I guess if yours is 1 year, then I'm 2 years younger than you. Yeah. Okay. Math is mathing. Math is mathing. Excellent. Yes. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to ask. Go ahead with what you're going to say.
Oh, I forgot. I was gonna say my favorite line and I forgot.
Oh no. Well, think about it.
I'm thinking.
I was gonna ask you what the rating out of 5 stars was, and then I realized that was a stupid question.
That's a very stupid question. I'm pretty sure you already know.
Unless we decide for the season finale.
10 out of 10.
I was thinking 6 out of 5 stars,
Oh.
but since this is the season finale,
10 out of 10.
sure, 10 out of 10 works.
We can do 6 out of 5.
6 out of
Whatever you wanna
5
say.
stars. Well, it's always been out of 5 stars.
10 out of 5.
10 out of, I don't know about that. That might be a little much,
might be
just
a
with
little
that CGI at the end.
All right. 9
CGI
out of
loses.
5.
Yeah, CGI loses you some stars there. I was thinking 4 for the CGI, but I like 6 out of 10 because it's one more than the
6
best
out of
score.
5.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did I say?
You said 6 out of 10.
Okay. Whatever. 6 out of 5.
Yes.
Because I know nothing else is gonna touch it. Like I feel like not Xenon the Sequel, maybe Xenon the Sequel, but Xenon Z3 for me is definitely a 5.
Yeah.
But things like that,
Yeah.
I was scrolling through to watch it today,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, we have so many freaking DCOMs to
There's
get
so
through
many
still.
DCOMs. We'll be doing this through our 30s, man.
I am.
I'll probably be 40 before we finish.
I am optimistic that we will be able to turn this into a weekly podcast.
Yeah.
And then we can speed that up by at least a couple years.
Yeah.
Because as it stands right now, we're looking at there's about 110, I think, DCOMs to get through beyond what we've already done.
Beyond what we've
already done. There's probably about 110, I think. Or maybe not quite that many, but close.
Yeah.
It feels like it anyway. There's a ton.
There's a lot.
I feel like that number is over ambitious now. I don't think it's 110. That sounds like a lot.
I don't know. Maybe 110 total.
Maybe 110 total. So we'll assume we probably have about 90 to go. Maybe 95. I don't know. But regardless, did you remember your thing?
Nope.
Okay. We tried. Final thoughts. There's
Final
not really
thoughts.
much room for final thoughts because I feel like we kind of already beat
If
the
I
horse with the
remembered
stick.
my favorite line, how is it your favorite line? You can't remember it, Marci. I don't know.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on right now with the live studio audience and
Yes, all these no people and
all the nobody out here and the
it's the cameras. Honestly, please don't look at me.
Those
Thank
playing
you.
cards are staring at me.
They're staring at me. Wait, playing card? Oh, I see.
Yeah, I have
They're
those are all
behind the tripod.
you bought me all 3 of those decks actually.
Oh.
I believe. Definitely 2 of them.
Definitely 2 of them.
I can't remember what the other one is, but I think you also got me that one.
Cool.
Anyway, so yeah, that wraps up season 1, guys. Season 1 of Noah Parker's World of Wonder is a wrap with that. So yeah, we'll be taking a month off, mainly just to avoid burnout.
Mm-hmm. It's always good to take a break.
Yeah, sometimes you get to a
she
point.
doesn't take a break.
Right.
Anyway.
You get to a point where you're just kind of not really overwhelmed. Like I really love doing these, but I was like, I'm gonna try to take some time to just not worry about podcasting for a little bit because it gets a little stressful sometimes. And then it also coincides with my annual vacation, so I'll be completely off. Won't be doing podcast or anything. Last time I took any kind of small vacation, I was still podcasting,
right?
And I had to worry about that while I was on the vacation, and so this time it's just not
vacation.
doing anything. One of the things we are doing is a pickleball tournament for all of the guests who have been on the podcast who wish to participate. So hopefully there will be a mainline YouTube video about that. Probably not like the tournament, but like highlights or something. And then of course the winners. I'm currently designing some 3D printable medals for that. Nice. So that should be fun. And then so the next DCOM rewatch won't be out until October. I don't remember what we're watching, but I'll figure it out before we get there. The next time you see me, Caleb and I will be recapping the D23 Expo announcements, so we can kind of react to all of those like we did at the very first episode of the podcast. I look forward to that greatly because D23 is really awesome. It's a good time. And do you have anything you'd like to say for the season finale?
Thank you for listening to all of our rambling.
Yes.
I'm sorry most of these have been almost 2 hours long, if not 2 hours long. And I hope you like this new system we've created.
Yes. See, because now I keep looking over here and I see that we're within time.
Yeah. Good.
And it's been great. So until September, guys, let the wonder take hold.